The Valentine haunting, a murder that won't rest. I never imagined one night could shatter my life forever, yet on that fateful Valentine's Day, everything changed. I had once believed in love with an intensity that consumed me. I gave every part of myself to Emily. But secrets fester, and betrayal can twist love into a nightmare. This is my confession, the night I lost control and unleashed an unholy terror that now haunts my every waking moment. For months, I had sensed a cold distance growing between us. While I labored long hours at the office, Emily's smile began to fade into something hollow. Whispers on her phone and furtive glances told me a painful truth: she was cheating on me. Sleeping with another man behind my back. I had sacrificed everything for her, my trust, my loyalty, my very soul, only to learn that my devotion was nothing more than a mask for her deceit. That bitter Valentine's Day, I decided to confront her in our home, a mansion that once echoed with our laughter and tender whispers but now lay heavy with the weight of unspoken lies. I had prepared an elaborate dinner and arranged a lavish bouquet of roses, a desperate attempt to reclaim a love I thought was unbreakable. But when she arrived that night, her eyes held a cold indifference, and I knew the charade was over. In the midst of our confrontation, as I demanded the truth in a trembling voice. The dam of my rage burst. I grabbed the ornate vase filled with the roses, symbols of all that I had given, and hurled it in a fit of unbearable fury. The vase shattered as it struck her head. In that sickening moment, time slowed. I watched, horrified, as her eyes glazed over and life ebbed from her, the sound of shattering glass mingling with my own blood-curdling scream of regret. I never meant for it to go so far, yet in that moment of blindness, I killed her. Panic overtook me as I realized the gravity of my actions. With trembling hands and a mind clouded by terror, I dragged her lifeless body into the backyard and hastily dug a shallow grave beneath the gnarled oak tree. In the darkness, I buried her, thinking that hiding the evidence might somehow erase my sins. But the earth that covered her was as cold and unyielding as the void that now filled my heart. Weeks turned to months, and the guilt gnawed at me relentlessly. I tried to live as if nothing had happened, but every night, my dreams were invaded by Emily's haunting eyes and the echo of her silent pleas. Then, on the following Valentine's Day, exactly 1 year after that dreadful night, the true horror began. As midnight struck, the temperature in my house plummeted. I was alone in the living room when an unnatural silence descended, broken only by the distant sound of a piano playing a mournful melody, a tune Emily had often hummed. I felt a presence before I saw it. Emerging from the oppressive darkness at the top of the grand staircase was her spectral form, but this was not the Emily I remembered. Bathed in a ghastly, pulsating light, she appeared as a figure of horror, a twisted, tormented visage with eyes that burned like coals in the depths of a forsaken hell. Her once gentle features were contorted into an expression of unspeakable agony and vengeful malice. The delicate fabric of her dress floated around her as if caught in a perpetual, ghostly wind, and her hair, wild and untamed, framed a face that radiated despair and fury. Her silent descent down the stairs was accompanied by a bone-chilling wind that rattled the very windows of my soul. Each step she took seemed to echo the slow tolling of a death knell, reverberating through the house. When she finally reached me, she stopped mere inches away, her gaze locking onto mine with an intensity that pierced through my guilt and terror. In a voice that was both a mournful lament and a vengeful curse, she spoke.
You shattered our love and stole my life. Now you shall never know peace.
Her words, carried on a whisper that seemed to emanate from the darkest recesses of the night, sent a paralyzing dread through me. From that moment on, the house became a living nightmare. Over the ensuing days, Emily's vengeful presence manifested in ways that defied explanation. Doors slammed with violent force, the sound echoing like the crack of a whip through empty hallways. Mirrors became windows into a world of torment, fogging over with cryptic messages that seemed to scrawl themselves in condensation, accusations and curses that haunted every reflection. At night, I would wake to the sound of dragging footsteps pacing in the corridors. Each step accompanied by the faint, mournful sound of a heartbeat that was not my own. The terror escalated further when I began to witness horrific apparitions. In the dead of night, I would see Emily's ghost reenacting the moment of her betrayal, her spectral figure reaching out with blood-stained hands, her face twisted in an eternal scream of betrayal and sorrow. At one point, I awoke to find her standing at the foot of my bed, her eyes gleaming with a supernatural fury, as if condemning me for every sin I had committed. The air around her was icy, and the smell of damp earth and decay filled my senses, a constant reminder of the grave I had dug. I sought help from spiritualists and paranormal investigators. Desperate to free myself from the curse that now bound me to this living nightmare. They confirmed what I had long suspected: Emily's spirit was tethered to the house by the violent energy of that fateful night. The unresolved anguish and betrayal had transformed her into a force of pure, vengeful horror, a restless spirit that refused to fade into oblivion. Every ritual I attempted only seemed to fuel her wrath, and no matter how far I ran, her presence clung to me like a second skin. Now, each Valentine's Day, I am forced to relive that unspeakable night. The ghost of the woman I betrayed roams my home, a relentless reminder that some acts of violence create wounds that never heal, and that the sins of the past can never truly be buried. My existence is a ceaseless torment, haunted by the unending lament of a spirit who was robbed of love and life. The mansion, once a sanctuary of our shared dreams, has become a tomb of regret, where every shadow hides a ghost, every whisper is a cry for vengeance, and every midnight brings the chilling promise of eternal horror. This is my curse, my confession, and my eternal punishment. I live in constant dread of the moment when Emily's tormented spirit returns to claim the rest of my soul, ensuring that I will never escape the Valentine haunting, a perpetual nightmare of guilt, fear, and the unrelenting wrath of a love that turned into death. If you enjoyed this chilling tale and want more real horror stories that will send shivers down your spine, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a terrifying new story. Let us know in the comments what you think of this haunting tale, or if you have your own eerie experiences to share. Stay tuned for more spine-tingling stories that will make you question what lurks in the darkness. Until next time, stay safe, and beware of the unseen.